everybody talk all over top of everybody, okay? It's going to be boring if you're all polite and nice the whole time. So we don't want to be polite. We don't want to be nice. We want to just talk over everybody. If a thought pops into your head, say it, okay? Because then that'll be interesting. And it's all good. Otherwise, we're sitting here like...
Just like the four most polite people.
I know.
Like,
this is the problem.
God, I would never.
This is the problem. I already know Allie is super nice. I already know that because she accommodates me after every show. I always need a hug, and I always have to tell how great she is. And she just like, all right, fat guy, get over here. I'll give you a hug. I haven't really talked to Eve at all ever. So, are you a quiet person over there?
I'd say so, probably.
All right, no, don't be quiet today. Okay, but Miss Quinlan's the teacher, so we don't have to worry about that. And then, so the first thing that we got going on is we have a lot of people today. So I'm on this all on my own, just all by myself. So people at home listen to this, they're just gonna have to deal with me talking too much, probably. So, all right. Thanks for downloading Stage Door Theater Podcast, hosted by a couple of average guys, and today just me. And we have the cast members here for Toledo School for the Arts, Amélie, coming in. So we have the two Amelies because there's a young Amélie and an old Amélie. You play the old Amélie, Eve? Is that the actual title, old Amélie?
No.
Older.
Yeah, older.
Older, okay. So I'm going to ask Miss Quinlan this question first because we always kind of need to know what the heck the show is, because is this the first time the show's being done in the area?
As far as I know, it is. I know that there was a production of the non-teen version. To be clear, we're doing the teen version.
Okay.
I know the full-length show was done at Oberlin, I believe, within the last couple of years.
Well, that's not in the area.
No, but it's Ohio. But
that's still a while
That's about
away.
as close as I think we've been. It's an unusual piece. It's a still relatively newly released piece, and it's obscure and certainly has some really specific requirements vocally that are not going to lend itself to every school. So.
Obscure. It's very obscure. Okay. So, like, this show was, do you even know, like, it was on Broadway for like a minute, wasn't it?
It was. It was on Broadway for a minute. In fact, Philippa Sue played Amélie, and she was...
Huh?
Philippa Sue from Hamilton.
I don't know who
fame.
Phil is.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
she's
Philippa.
Philippa, she's amazing.
All right.
So she did the title role on Broadway, so you would have thought it would be a great hit. But I'll be honest, when it moved to the West End in London, they did a whole bunch of rewrites. They restructured the show. They reorchestrated the show.
Like, made it better, is what you're saying?
I think they made it a whole lot better, but it was a little too late for Broadway. It didn't bounce back, and the version we do is kind of a hybrid of the two. They kind of took the best of both possible worlds between the two productions and merged it into what we now have. So the version of Amélie that you can license, the full length or the teen version, is not exactly what you would have seen either place, Broadway or...
Right. So when you say obscure, I actually looked it up because I had never heard of it before, but that is not a big deal. I don't hear of lots of things. But I didn't hear of it, so I looked it up and I couldn't find it. I saw it was a movie first. Mm-hmm. So then I said, I'll go see a movie. And I can't even see the movie anywhere. Like, literally, I can't even rent it. It's not on Apple. It's not on YouTube. It's not on, like, anything.
It's in French.
Okay.
So that could be part of the reason.
Well, I'm okay with subtitles. I just wanted to, like, see it because I saw a trailer.
Okay.
I saw a trailer which piqued my interest, and I was like, I want to see this movie. And then, no,
excellent.
Don't get to see it. So, all right. So, Eve, you play Amélie, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, I need you to tell, how many rehearsals have you had? I should say that first.
Well, we have rehearsals every single week. We have Monday through Thursday usually, and I think we started around in, like, December.
End of December, yeah.
You guys are insane because you had another show going on at the same time as this show. So that's why I was, I see everybody doing this. So how are you balancing both shows at the same time? Are you in both shows, Eve?
No, I'm not. But I think both Allie and
I know Allie was. I act like I don't know, but I know. She was, like I said, I just gave her a hug. I'm terrible. So I know Seth was in the show who plays your love interest.
Yes, he
What's
plays
the love
Nino.
interest? What's his name?
Nino.
Nino?
Yes.
Yeah, this is not an American show. That's not an American name at all. Okay, so I need you to tell me what this show is, please.
So basically, Amélie, as a child, she was very much sheltered from her life, or not from her life, but from the rest of the world. And it's about how her growing up affected, like, her into her adulthood as well, and making relationships, and especially in relation to Nino, like her love life, and how, since she's never really experienced something like that, how it's a lot different from.
Is she mousy and timid, or is she quiet and shy, or is she outgoing? Is she a weirdo?
She's definitely a little bit odd. I wouldn't say
so
weird.
how do you feel about being cast as the weirdo then?
I mean, definitely can feel some relation.
Miss Quinlan, come on, really?
Well.
So we start off young. So we start off, and then Allie, that's your character, obviously. So elaborate.
So Amélie, she was taken out of school when she was very young, like 8 years old. So she didn't have much time to interact with people. So when she was like secluded in her own home with her relatively distant parents, she used her imagination to kind of live. So you very much see the show through Amélie's creative mind and how she would change things to make them more interesting and fun.
The trailer's making a little more sense for me then, because it did seem like this Charlie and the Chocolate Factory weirdness maybe, but I couldn't quite understand. Yeah. So it reminded me, if I had to just like gauge it from what you guys have said, and I could be completely off, but it reminded me of like Matilda.
Where she
does that mixed with Fun Home. Are you familiar with that show?
Yeah, more towards Matilda than Fun Home, because it's definitely got that magical quality that it's hard to say whether it solely exists in Amélie's mind.
Because Allie said it was distant parents.
Oh, yes.
And that's the distant parents is what I got with the Fun Home part. So have you ever seen that show? Have you guys seen that show or know that show?
Oh, yeah. It's
all
wonderful.
Right. See, so that's what I felt like. It felt like it was like, I don't know. Is that am I good? Did I nail it in one?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I feel like her parents they didn't show affection really verbally or physically. So she grew up not really having any connection to other humans, and she was taught at home, so she's super intelligent.
Oh,
reads
you
all
said
the
she pulled her out of school,
right?
But
she was taught at home.
Okay, by her mom and dad.
By her mom. And her mom is quite intelligent. So.
Okay,
yes. And weird.
But weird also. Oh, that's good. This is a homeschool stereotyping going on here. This is fine. Where they're all kind of like, a little bit not quite socially, connected to everybody, and that's her situation. Did she go like her whole? We're gonna ruin the show here. So, but did she go her whole time not going to any school since the age of 8?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now she's an adult, so. You must have a pretty decent part, though, Allie. Is what you're saying? Was there a lot of flashbacks going in this thing?
There's a big chunk of like the beginning of the show is seen young Amélie is portrayed, and then throughout the show she kind of appears to like encourage Amélie to like ignore the past and be your future self, like live in the moment. So Amélie's young Amélie is very much an encourager to older Amélie.
Yeah, that's what I was say.
Really? So you're her role model. kind of like no, you got this, girl, that kind of thing.
Definitely.
Okay, all right. But then who plays your terrible father who doesn't love you?
Walter Johnson.
Walter? Okay, so everybody who's not listening to this show, Walter's a really nice guy. How's he supposed to pull this off?
He loves her. He just doesn't want to touch her. He's kind of a germaphobe. He's an army doctor. He likes everything is very regimented and very formal and not warm and fuzzy. So that's her whole relationship with him is just very kind of cold and distant. I mean, he's caring, but he truly doesn't know how to interact with a child.
Okay, now I have another question for you here. Now, how in the world why did you pick this show? There's like 1,000 shows out there, and you picked this quirky, weird, non-loving father show. What is the appeal here?
Well, okay, so our formula for choosing a show, it's complicated, as you probably know. We try to pick things that we know that we can cast in a myriad of ways. We wouldn't want to choose a show that we simply couldn't cast. So that's part of it. We look at who we have. We look at who's coming up. We really do like to do things that are a little more obscure. We enjoy testing the waters in this area and producing some things that maybe not every school is able to take a chance on. But to be completely honest, this came across my, my listening desk, I don't know what you call it. Somebody showed me the show, and I listened to it, and I was so blown away by just how fresh this score is. It does not sound like any other musical theater score. And it's hard to even know how to describe it. It's still musical theater, but it's got a folk feel to it. It's got a European feel to it. It's just the music. It's got a bit of a pop feel to it. We got a little gospel and a little Elton John thrown in there.
Gospel?
Oh, did I say Elton John too? Yeah.
Elton John makes sense. I get the Elton John
feel.
So,
yeah, it was just surprising from the minute I started listening to it all the way through to the end. I just really, really loved how refreshingly new this music sounded. So that was a big draw for us. It's also a quintessential ensemble production, which is another thing we really, really like to do. The ensemble is involved all the time.
So no pressure ensemble. You got to bring it, right?
Oh, yeah, they do. They are, they're all the people, they're all the characters, but they are also a really critical part of the music, which is another way that this music is kind of unique, is just the ensemble provides almost an instrument in places, almost a sound effect through music in places.
They're telling the story a little more while Amelie's sitting on the stage dreaming about whatever, probably, right?
Yeah, times are hard for dreamers. Yeah. Tell us.
What? All right, you going to sing for me now then? It's times are hard for dreaming. Yeah. See, I know some stuff. No, I actually, when the show was introduced, I was like, I had to do it. So I looked at it, and that song is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And I know that your role as the young Amelie, you have a beautiful song with your father too, in there.
Yeah, I sing about my father.
Yeah, not with your father. No, because he would have nothing to do with that. You know, because that's who he is. Exactly. So I didn't know that you were going to be popping back in a bunch though. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's what I think is a pretty impactful song because it kind of throws you into the story. It's closer to the beginning. It's called The Bottle Drops.
Drops.
Where young Amélie kind of introduces the scene that's happening, and then older Amélie takes over, like her own present mind.
Okay.
And I find that interesting.
Yeah, that one's definitely my favorite. I think it's like the catalyst to like everything else in the show because kind of the whole point of Amélie is she's trying to affect people's lives in small ways. And since she sees this major life event, I don't know how much of it.
No, you want to tell it. Tell it all. No, because right now nobody knows what this show's about. They just know it's got weirdo people and dads that are mean. So it's okay if you tell them more stuff.
So basically, she sees that Princess Diana has died. And she
Too
loves
much. No, just kidding.
She loves
Spoiler alert. She's dead.
She died?
Oh, no.
I'm watching the crap.
It's 1997. Did we mention that? Okay.
She loves Princess Diana, and she's seeing how Princess Diana affects people's lives, and she wants to be a regular do-gooder, just like Princess Diana.
A regular do-gooder. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't catch that in the music. See, that's why you got to go to the show. You got to go to the show because the music's only going to tell half of what's going on. So you go to and you can see some more stuff and figure things out. So, Seth, how dare you get up? The dog is upset now. He's like, oh, there's a guy in the house.
Yeah, Amélie has a pet fish, so I think that's why he's responding that way.
Oh.
There's no dogs in the show.
There's no dogs in this show?
I think she would have loved to have a dog. She names the fish Fluffy, so there's
really?
indicator right there that she probably would have liked something.
You've had a couple shows recently that have some sort of animal in them, at least. You know, you've had Curious with a dog, and you had Addams Family with Lurch. You know, so I guess it was in there too as well.
We just finished Peter and the Starcatcher, which we managed to get a cat and a bird into, and a very weird crocodile.
Yeah, see, that's another thing you were talking about before about how you do some obscure shows that maybe aren't on every school's radar. That one was the one you just did, and took me a half to try and figure out what the show is about.
You are not alone.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to ruin it for everybody, but it's an origin story for Peter Pan, so there you go. All right, I ruined it. All right, so eventually, though, Amélie grows up, and then she goes off, and she has her signature song, Eve, which is what again?
Times are hard for dreamers.
Times are hard. You're not going to sing with me? You're just going to make me do it, aren't you?
They're just going to have to see the show.
Oh, no. This is terrible. I hate it when they say that kind of stuff. But then you fall in love, or you meet somebody that you might be falling in love with, and that's Nino, and Nino's sitting right next to you right now, Seth. So I know that you're a busy guy. You just came from Starcatcher. You're doing stuff for college auditions and everything. How are you even putting this in right now?
It's a lot. It's all about budgeting your schedule. I mean, I'm always, when I'm on at rehearsal, I'm like rehearsing for college auditions or, doing
your homework off to the side.
Yeah.
And is Miss Quillen mean? Is she like, Seth, put your stuff down, focus, get Fs, it's
Evil.
okay. Evil. That's her directing style. I heard she's brutal.
I think
She's so mean.
Seth doesn't even realize that sometimes we have like daily check-ins among the teachers to figure out who gets Seth when and for how long. So pretty much every day there's a little email exchange that goes around. Today it was between the two directors for this show, myself and Miss Lefevre.
Yeah, I was going to say Miss Lefevre's also directing the show. I don't want to downplay that.
And Miss Blaufus, who also wants his time for dance, and we had to do a little
so Miss
juggling.
Blaufus isn't choreographing the show.
No.
It is all...
No, that's for something separate. So he's just really in
another
demand.
different thing that has nothing
Yeah.
to do with the show?
Oh, yeah, because he's also a dancer, amazing dancer, so...
All right, so the visuals in this show, there's going to be like lots of weird stuff, right? How are you going to do this? Because you just said before that it's all about your imagination and trying to get this out there. How?
I'll speak to that, and
Okay.
it could be a reason why this show stays obscure. I don't know. It's if you get a chance to see the movie, it's a French film. It was made, I want to say, mid-90s, somewhere in the mid-90s. Well, no, wait, it would have to be... No.
It was around there.
It'd have to be after 1997.
Have to be
Anyway,
after Princess Diana died, yes, at least after that.
It's a gorgeous film, though. It really is. And what you're able to do with film, obviously, is bring all these magical things to life and to the screen. Like one of the clips that I think the movie's well known for is when her little lights... she's got a lamp next to her bed, and this little frog materializes and is able to pull the switch. It's a frog or a hippo. It's a something. Anyway, she sees things that really aren't there, and they're magical and they're whimsical, and that's kind of what's gotten her through her life to this point is being able to use her imagination in a healing way, a soothing way, an entertaining way. It's really hard to do that on stage. But
you're going to do something, right?
We are. I mean, there are moments that we've already found where you can tell that what's happening, what we're seeing as an audience is really just coming out of her imagination as opposed to this reality of these characters. But
is that going to be obvious for the crowd, though? Is the crowd going to sit there and go, oh, this is like, are you going to do something that makes it clear to them, or am I going to be totally confused?
I think there are a few places where we're able to make it really, really clear, but I also think that that the people who took this from the screen and put it on the page did a really nice job of shifting the focus away from using magic and imagination to soothe herself and more into just the story of that's really relatable for everybody about trying to find connection, trying to heal your past, and then trying to translate that all into what you can bring to the world and have a positive impact. So I feel like the musical steers a little bit away from the magic that the movie established.
Well, maybe some of that is on purpose, too. Maybe some of the magical part, as an audience member, you're trying to figure that out. Is this real, or is this all in her brain again?
Yeah, we do have a giant fish. And,
that's real. That's a real fish, right?
And a giant gnome. And
also real.
Elton John, totally real.
Fake.
The actual Elton John shows up.
All right,
in the show.
Seth, who is your character? Nino is who's Nino?
So Nino's basically, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I want to hear it all.
So I really like my character because he's very disconnected from the plot that you've explained already.
Oh.
Pretty much, there's all that going on, and then there's Nino. So Nino, while all this is going on, he's just a guy that, he also really struggles with like socializing, and he just doesn't really know how to talk to people very well.
Okay.
So far. Kind of similarly to Amélie, which is why they're kind of like a cute match.
And
does
she meet him when she's older, like after, like, or does she know him when she's younger, or she
Yeah, she doesn't really meet him. It's kind of I was thinking about this last night. They're kind of like soulmates type deal.
Okay.
So pretty much the kind of the plot is that they're kind of chasing after each other, but they don't talk. They don't meet.
They keep missing.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're the passing ships type thing?
Yeah.
But they don't, wait, there's no connection ever? Don't ruin that part. Don't ruin that part.
I won't.
Don't tell me that, because in my brain there's totally a love connection. So I'm just going to
You'll have to come see the show.
Yeah. That one you will have to come see the show. So for a while, obviously, or whatever, you don't meet each other?
No, it's kind of like, when you like see people, like when you're passing by and you see somebody and you see them again, but you don't really know them. She kind of like
I do that at work every day.
she sees Nino and she's like, "Oh, I think he's the one."
Yeah, I think he's the one. At work I do that all the time.
Yeah,
I
she's
see that
chasing
person.
fantasy.
How long has that person been here? 14 years? Oh, I didn't even know. So that's it. That's all your character is some guy who just passes in the night and don't.
He's got a weird hobby.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that?
He loves to just like go to photo booths and collect pictures that they took for testers.
Oh, like random people's photos?
Specifically, there's one picture that it just haunts him. There's this mystery man that he has no clue who it is. And you find out during the show who it is, but you got to come see the show to find out.
All right. So there's a lot of weirdness in this show, which is kind of cool, kind of fun, different, and something we will all have to, just like you said, just come and see.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's what I really love about it is that there is nothing trite or cliche about these characters or their interactions with each other. Every single character in the show is just... I keep using the word unique, but refreshingly unique.
Refreshingly?
Yeah, you can't say, oh, they're just like that character in that other show.
Oh,
There's no stock characters in the show. There's no traditional plots. It's not even traditionally structured. So.
Eve, how do you even audition for a show like this? You don't even, it's so odd. What did you sing? Do you sing like some rando song then? Or did you start singing a song and then change the song partway through just because?
I don't remember.
Two songs that never met each other, like song, one of those? What did you sing? Do you remember?
No.
And then you always have your callbacks too, right? So you have your callback and you have your sides. Did any of you have any idea what was going on in these sides, or did Miss Quinlan and Miss Lefevre just hand you a sheet of paper and say, "Here you go"?
So I didn't really necessarily. They just handed us sheets, but I just went through like the actual like Broadway, like different songs and
the music,
and I like pieced it together, and I saw some of the scenes that were on like YouTube.
Oh, you YouTube cheated. Good, good for you. You did better than me. I just found the songs. Like, I couldn't even find the movie. Like I said,
you gotta do your homework somehow,
Yeah. So when is this show? Where is this show? Is there some? I'm going to start all over because I get all ahead of myself here. I've heard that this might be a dinner theater. Am I wrong?
Well, you're not entirely wrong.
Not entirely wrong. See, so right away it already has unique staging. Mm-hmm. So besides the staging that you're going to have to come up with, there's additional.
Well, we really wanted people to have that Parisian feel. It is set in Paris. Oh. So we're using our attic theater at TSA. It may be who knows, this could be our last theatrical production in our current attic theater because there is a new theater being built as we speak.
I have to get a tour of that when it's open.
Oh, yeah. It's exciting. So we're in the attic theater. We're on the stage. However, we really wanted the audience to feel like they were part of the experience and not just watching it, because the show lends itself to that whole thing of the ensemble being so integrated into everything. We wanted the audience to feel integrated. So we are setting the theater space to be a lot like a outdoor Parisian cafe. Nice. So we have little cafe tables.
Nice.
We have the sparkly lights. We have bread.
Yes!
All the things.
There's bread.
Right.
That's the food we get.
Exactly.
We get bread.
You get bread.
Cappuccinos?
Actually, I think they are working on that. I think
some French roast.
I think we're trying to have a little cafe and bread.
All right, can I be on the stage? Is part of the stuff going to be up on the stage?
It's going to sort of meld from the audience to the stage. So we have some cafe tables down on the floor where our audience will be seated, and then the rest of them on the stage.
Can I get a stage seat? If I buy a ticket now, can I get it?
I'll see what I can do.
I already bought a ticket, so there. So
right,
can I get it? I already have the ticket. I already bought it.
You can lurk over in the phone booth on
I lurk.
House Right.
I'm already lurking on Facebook and everywhere else trying to figure out when tickets go on sale. So I'm all good with lurking. I'm guilty of all that anyway. So as soon as it came out, I saw somebody post it. I was like, what? Nobody told me it's already for sale. So I ran out real fast and grabbed it.
Are the tickets for sale?
They're for sale.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I seriously bought them.
Yeah, my parents already bought tickets.
2 weeks ago.
Well, gosh, it's a good thing that I can just walk in because I can't have that.
Did your parents already get tickets, Eve?
I did not tell them that tickets were on sale.
I'm
not getting my
them.
seats.
Don't worry. I'll call
Not getting
them
my
up.
seats.
Okay.
Well, I always obviously enjoy seeing what Toledo School for the Arts is putting on, and I had children that went there, and I haven't stopped going there, and I probably won't stop going to see the shows because you guys just do good stuff.
We appreciate
You just
that.
do good stuff. Any last words, Seth, on how awesome your character is?
Not much. I mean, he's unique. You got to come see
He's
the show to find out. There's so much that like I can't tell you because
Yeah,
it's just
it'll ruin.
He's full of surprises. I'll tell you that.
So his character's appeal is that you just have to see his surprises.
His character and maybe another appearance I might be making in the show is a different character.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about that. It doesn't really apply to our Amélies necessarily, but our ensemble play multiple roles, and
Yeah.
most of the people in the show play multiple roles. So I won't give it away, but Seth does play an additional role. Walter, who plays Amelie's father, plays another lead male role in the
Makes
show.
sense.
Fluffy, he's all over the place. He's a fish, he's a gnome, he's a blind dude. I'm trying to think
The
what else he
guy who
does.
plays Fluffy's playing all these characters.
All those parts.
The gnome is an actual character.
Oh, yeah.
And has lines and speaks.
Oh, he has
So
a
is
whole
the fish.
song.
He has a whole song.
He sure does. There's no place like Gnome.
Oh my god.
Now you
Such a
have
good
to
song.
see it.
This
That
is a
doesn't
quirk.
sell it. I don't know.
It does sell it. All right, that is enough right there. So everybody just needs to go see the show.
March 10th and 11th.
Oh,
right?
yeah, March 10th and 11th.
That's
yeah.
important.
That is
Okay.
important. Okay, March 10th and 11th is the show. It's at TSA, Attic Theater. Everybody just needs to go see it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.